Now News 8's Diane just back from that region.
Diane and video journalist Duncan Armstrong followed the relief effort.
I know it was quite an effort indeed, all the travel that you had to, that really consumed a lot of the time. How difficult was it? What was it like?
It was an unforgettable story. I've been in news for 12 years, Duncan for 15, and we both felt this was the biggest story of our careers and the most amazing and sad thing that we both had ever seen. Here's some of the video that we have. This is the first thing I saw when we got off the plane in Indonesia. As you can see right there, fires burning off the perimeter of the airfield. All that smoke in the air made everything seem really surreal. There's some people, some of the refugees, displaced people who have nowhere to go. They're living at the airport. And that region is already plagued with so many mosquito-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever, so they had to have these fires to try to ward off the mosquitoes.
We've heard a lot about some of the supplies, the relief supplies being bottlenecked there at the airport in Aceh. Did you see that yourself?
Oh, a lot of it. I mean, here's an example, okay? The United Nations World Food Program gets at least 200 metric tons of food per day, and that's on top of the food that the U.S. government, like the USAID program, is contributing. So when you think about how much all of that is adding up to, coupled with bad roads, lack or difficulty of transportation, and on top of that, that 24-hour ban placed by the UN on aid workers because they were afraid of the civil war, you can understand why there's so much stuff just bottlenecking up at the airport.
Right. What was it like at the air base? We also heard that there are problems with the airport because it was just too small.
The airport is very tiny. It usually handles 3 flights a day. When I was there, it was 9:30 at night. There was about 6 planes on the flight line, and the airman who talked to me said it was usually 4 times as busy during the day. Now here's some video of the flight line where you can see here's the plane we came on. It's a C-130, and like I said, just one of half a dozen on the tarmac at that hour of the night.
Of course, on top of all that, there's the civil war that has been threatening there. Were you folks, I know there were some warnings by the government, were you afraid personally?
Yeah, I was afraid. And so I read up on this because I figured if I was going to be involved in it, I'd at least want to know why. So, you know, for one thing, we were not even out in the town. We went there for just a half an hour at night. We were at the airport and it was dark. And to me, it was kind of frightful. I mean, just the situation, it looked like a war zone. I can only imagine what it must have been like in the day. And if we had gone into town, there's people sleeping at the mosque. They look shell-shocked. There's refugees huddled underneath the awning of this really small airport. And you know, your heart just goes out to them. It's such a sad thing. They're waiting for planes to take them to Thailand for medical help or just for some other help. I had read the UN said in some towns more than 3/4 of the population died and every single house was destroyed. The WHO calls the health situation in Aceh precarious, and it's just so sad. So here's another thing complicating matters. I was told by a local that I could pass for Indonesian Chinese. So, and it's an Orthodox Muslim community, so he suggested I veil because while they might be forgiving toward Westerners, you know, I don't really always look like a Westerner, so they're like, you better put a veil on in case you're going to stray outside the community. So
interesting.
And did you do that?
Unfortunately, we were not able to, but luckily we still got to get on the ground, and it was, like I said, a pretty unforgettable story.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing more from you, Di.
Thanks.
All right.